Hey YouTube, Blender 5.2 LTS just got released. And me as a 3D artist who's still learning Blender, I have taken all the changes which I feel is important and shortened them down. Here is the list of all the topics we will be discussing in the video, so if you guys want, you can skip to that timestamp. This video is mainly beginner friendly and for 3D artists just like me. There are hundreds of changes and I don't want to overwhelm anyone with wrong info which I don't know or I don't understand. Please check the official Blender channel to learn more. Enjoy the video. Feature 1. Loop Tools, which used to be a plugin, is now inbuilt into Blender, and we have 3 of them: Circle, Flatten, and Space Evenly already given to us, but then the other ones are going to come as the update gets better. Okay, let's start with the first, Circle. If you select your mesh and go into the edit view, if you have geometry, something, example like this, right? A geometry like this. If you select a bunch of faces, now you can go into, I believe it was mesh, transform, and you see to circle. This is now inbuilt. This is a new feature for 5.2. If you click on this, ta-da! It literally takes all the faces, all the edges, and then it creates a circle. So this becomes really easy. Now just imagine, now that this is a circle, I can press E to extrude, and look at that. You can immediately have circles in your mesh, right? This used to be a plugin, now it's inbuilt. Feature 2 is Space Evenly. So for example, if you have a mesh like this, you can notice that these edges are spaced evenly. You can use this as a reference to guide other edge loops to actually properly align. So now that I have my properly selected reference, I can go into mesh, transform, and you see space edge loops evenly. Click on this. Check that out. Clean topology, and it spaces it evenly. Pretty cool. The third feature is flatten. So I have an icosphere here. If I press tab and go into edit view, right? Let me select a bunch of faces. So let's say I select these faces, right? And you want to flatten them on your geometry. Now that's inbuilt as well. So I can just go into mesh, transform, and you can see that there's an option called flatten now added. So check that out. It flattens out the mesh, right? Really cool. And there's a factor feature here, which if you increase or decrease, it brings back your old mesh or it flattens the new mesh, right? So you can fine tune the difference between them. Now let's move on to the fourth feature. This is for snapping department, and now you can snap to lattices. So if you press Shift A, go to lattice and select a lattice, this creates your base. And now you can come into your properties, go into its options and increase the resolution so you have more lattice points, right? This is now a 3x3x3. If you go into your snapping options, make it to closest, vertex, and if you just want to apply it to move, select your object and now press G. And if you hold down Control now, check this out. You can actually snap to lattice points now, which is pretty cool. Let's talk about the fifth feature. This is arrays. When you select an object, you apply an array modifier. There it is. This has been improved as well. I'm just going to demonstrate this using the circle. So when you have the circle object selected, let's say for example 10 is the count, and then I increase my radius. This is how it used to act, but this was deselected, right? Aligned rotations have now been improved. This allows local rotations as well. First, you can now change the count. You can actually even increase the radius. And now check this out. This aligned rotation literally allows you to do it with local access, right? And you can rotate it locally. These have now been improved. So that's great to hear. And this feature is allowed even in the other options, so go try them out. The sixth feature is backface culling respects viewport now. I'm going to explain what backface is so that you guys can understand that. Just take this for an example. Every face has two sides. Just imagine that. One side, which is the right side. The other side is called the back face. The right side usually is what you want the camera to see. Now, for example, in this block, when you just create a default block, all these 6 faces, you can see these sides of the faces just imagine they're the right side, right? So that is what the camera needs to see. If I do select the cube, press Tab, go into face selection mode, select this face and delete it. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 faces are now showing their back face. I hope you guys understand. If I move the camera here, this face has the right side facing outwards, but the other side of the face is the back face of that face. The amount of faces is just too damn high. Please, okay? Try to look at my face. Okay, so what is the back face culling option? Now you can actually go here in your viewport shading options over here and then enable back face culling. There you go. So what Blender is doing is, if I move this object, oh, there you go. All the back faces are now see-through. That's what it does. It's culling it, right, for the camera. Now, if I move this object, you can see it becomes, you can see right through it and you can see the objects. If I take this object and move it on the right, all the way back, right, and then turn off back face culling, and then move my object, select these cubes, and then delete them, you can see that you can't see behind this, right? So if you're modeling and you want to know that, you know, what's behind it, or you have placed something and you're like, I want to align it without moving the front object, right? You can now go into back face culling and there you go. You can see your object now through that, right? So hopefully that made sense. Now, the 7th feature might not be used as much, but I could not even find the right font to show you guys. It's a font improvement. So any fonts which have upper and lower additions to them, like the dots and the commas and all those complex characters, are now much better supported in Blender. That's the fix. And now for the last and final 8th feature, which I really like, are thin faces. I have a very simple scene setup for you guys. This is just a spotlight, one plane, which is very thin, right? So you need a thin surface like a paper, or if you model like a leaf, right? Now, this material on this plane is set to transmission having one transmission-less light pass through, right? You have a new option called thin wall now. So I have set up a light, right? Put a plane in front of it and added a red material to it. Now, if the thin wall is unchecked and you render it, so I can go here and go into render, you can see the render preview, and I'm going to show you a clear picture, right? This is without thin walls and this is with thin walls, right? So you can see the clear difference. They have improved this and it looks so much better, so much more cleaner, right? So this is the major difference. If you have a very thin surface with a transmission, you can switch this on to let Blender know that, hey, this is actually really thin and the material is probably same on both sides. So there you have it. Phew! And with all that, these are the features which I would personally use as just a normal 3D artist, and I really loved all of them. If you guys enjoyed this video, please share, like, and subscribe. It took me a lot to actually try to understand every new thing and then just make a video about it. So I hope you guys like it. With that, thank you. Saurabh, signing out.